Good evening everyone and welcome to Downtown Music Gallery. I'm Carlo Bova and thanks for joining us, and for all those people at home watching us on YouTube, I hope you find the next few segments all about Mesa Boogie amps very enjoyable, and hope you may learn something about the best amplifier in the world. We're very excited here at Downtown. I've got Australia's best boogie technician that's come all the way from Canberra down to talk to us about all the questions that you guys have asked me over the last couple of years as we've been selling boogie amps. And I've got my favourite Sydney guitarist, Chris Camzelis down here, who's played on Australian Idol and played on The Voice to demo a few of the guitar sounds. So as we're going along with all the different products, we'll talk about different guitar sounds, and then hopefully Chris and the old faithful Andre Udato, playing all the backing tracks for him, will entertain us with a bit of some great music and some great guitar tones. Okay. First of all, let's start off with introducing the man of the moment, and the boogie man, we call him. That's John Farkas. Please make him welcome. He's up the back. He's going to come up here and join us. Come down, John.
I'm John Farkas. I'm Service Manager for Pro Audio. We've been importing boogie for the last 30 odd years. I've service managed for them for probably the last 15, and we're very proud to be handling their product in Australia.
Fantastic. John, as we have quite a few products to go through, I might get pretty well started. First, are there many boogie amp owners in here? Just put your hands
Show
up.
of hands.
Show of hands. Okay. Cool. Well, that's okay. Hopefully by the end of the night we'll be talking to a few others and saying, hey, maybe you need to put a little bit of boogie in your life too. Okay, moving on. Look, we're going to start with what I find to be my favourite amp in the range, because I find it to be very, very versatile. I play in a band that has a cover band, obviously playing a whole range of stuff, doing club gigs, pub gigs, all that sort of stuff, and using a pedal board. I find this amp to be very, very user-friendly. Also, I find it to be not very heavy, which is fantastic as you get to some of the other amps, and me getting a bit older, I like a smaller amp, but nice and compact. This is called the Express. Down here, we're looking at the Express 550. And this is the 112-inch version. This one's also in a custom colour. As you can see, it's a cream Tonics. If you have a look on the top row there behind John, that amp up at the top there is a 525, Express 525, meaning the one up the top can go from 5 watts or 25 watts. The Express 550 can be switched down to 5 watts or 50 watts, depending if you're gigging, using it for home, studio. Very, very versatile amp. Now, just quickly, right, John, can we just run through a few of the features of this amp? A few of the questions I get asked. First of all, is it a Class A or a Class AB amp?
Well, it's actually both, Carlo. The preamp stages in every valve amplifier in this room run in Class A by default. But the output stage is switchable between Class A and Class AB. In the 5 watt position, both models will switch in one output valve, either the EL84 or the 6L6, and run it single-ended in Class A. Or if you need more headroom when you get out into a live situation, then you switch the amplifier across into Class AB and get the full 50 or 25 watts, depending on the model, to give you the extra headroom to cut through the rest of the band.
Okay, so if we switch down to 5 watts on the 550 model, what sort of output tubes is it using?
In the 550, it uses 6L6s. So you'll use a single 6L6 in the Class A position. So very round, very warm valve, good bottom end. The 525 switches in a single EL84, the baby brother to the EL34. So very strong in the mid-range, very strong in the top end. So it's got a lot of bite, a lot of cut. So if you want some spank, you know, it's the valve for you.
Okay. As we're looking at this amp down here, we've got 2 rows of channels. The top channel is your clean channel, and in that clean channel we have 2 modes. We have a clean and a crunch mode.
Clean and a crunch mode. The clean will produce a lot of offendery type cleans with a very nice valve driven reverb. The crunch mode starts to get you into some of the classic rock tones, particularly with the higher gain settings. If you were to dial the gain back and bring the master up, then that assures you a lot of bell type clear sounds coming from the amplifier. As soon as you start to bring that up, then you start getting into the crunchier territory of the amplifier.
Okay. And when we switch over to the second channel down here, we've also got two modes here. We've got what they call here a blues mode and a burn mode.
That's right.
Obviously, I think that's pretty obvious. So when you're in the blues mode, you can go everything from a Stevie, let's say a very light blues,
Yep.
Stevie Ray Vaughan sort of tone. Then want to go right over to a burn, you can get pretty much.
All your lead tones come from the burn position. Tons of sustain, so you can start playing a little bit of Santana if you like. In the in the blues position, the amplifier is very touch responsive. You can start to ride the volume control on your guitar.
Yep.
So you can pull it back, play a little bit of clean single note stuff.
Yep.
Bring the volume up just slightly, grab a power chord, and it'll break up in a really smooth, graceful way.
Okay, now both channels have got this little knob here at the end, which is a contour control. What does that actually do?
The contour is an overall tone control, if you like. So once you've dialed up your normal bass, middle, and treble controls,
Yep.
you can then switch in the contour control, which is foot switchable in each channel. So it gives you just an extra option of tone shaping that you can preset.
I find that it adds a bit of body,
It adds a bit of body or takes body away,
Okay.
depending on where you set the control.
Okay. Now all those functions that we've just gone through with that amp there are all foot switchable. You can actually switch from a clean tone to a dirty tone, and the contour buttons at the end of the amp are also foot switchable. If you want to switch the amp down to a 5 watts, there's a little switch on the back of it.
There you go. That's in 5-watt position now.
And you'll find the little 5 watts light comes on at the front, switching the amp down to 5 watts. Now, I think we'll take the opportunity so we don't bore you guys with every, I think we'll now introduce Chris Camzelis and Andre Hidalgo to give you a sample of what these amps sound like, okay? On the Mesa Boogie, that was the top channel. Now, Chris, if you don't mind, what pedal were you using with that?
That was the T-Rex.
The T-Rex. So
No,
there's...
I've just had it going through the clean channel.
That's exactly what I was going to say, Chris. Well, there's a perfect example on how great a clean channel of a Mesa Boogie amp. So if you do have a collection of beautiful pedals and you want to just go straight into the clean channel of the Mesa Boogie, you can get a great tone, as you've just heard there. When you get a second, guys, they're going to switch over and give us a listen to that bluesy tone on the dirty channel. There you go. That's it. Yeah, play some little tune. That's a very sweet tone. Now we're moving over to my favourite tone. This is where you can actually play a note and hold it for weeks and then go make a cup of coffee, come back and it's still playing. Thank you very much, Chris. Let me just swap mics and I'm coming up the front. Just quickly, has anyone in the audience got any questions about that first amp at all? Yeah, Rick, tell me.
What actually does it weigh? What does it weigh?
There's a specification.
Couldn't give you an exact figure, but it'd probably be around the 20 kilo mark, I guess.
The next amp we are going to go through is the Lone Star Special. Once again, this is a beautiful amp. The first amp being an amp that I find that you can use being in a covers band that has to cover quite a big range from jazz to rock to blues. The next amp, I find it to be a bit more country rockish, bluesy. It doesn't drive as much as the Express series in the drive channel, but a very, very sweet amp, and it has a tone all by itself. Yeah, all by itself. This is the beautiful thing here behind us. As we can see, this is the 112 model in bone. It only comes in this colour, this Lone Star Special. Okay. The Lone Star, which is the 100, this is a 30 watt version, which is switchable between, let me get it right here, 5 watts.
515 and 30.
515 or 30 watts. The 100 watt is switchable between 10 watts and 100 watts. 10, 50 or 100. Okay, so while we've got this amp here, John, can we run through some features of this amp?
This amp, Carlo, falls into that true Class A category. The EL84s in the output stage are running in Class A all the time.
Yep.
In 5 watt mode, you've got a single EL84 working. In 15 watt, it's a pair of EL84s Class A push-pull.
Yep.
And in 30 watt mode, it's 4 EL84s running Class A push-pull. It also incorporates a rectifier valve in the 5 and 15 watt modes, which gives the amp a little bit of sag, a little bit of natural compression when you dig into it. In the 30 watt mode, it switches across to solid state rectifier to give the amplifier full headroom and full output, but still in the Class A mode. All valve front end, as I discussed with all the models here, the front ends do work in Class A all of the time, regardless of which amplifier it is. It's a valve driven reverb, and a very sweet reverb at that.
As far as the EQ circuit on this amp, is it in different frequency range to get a different tone, or? It
does have a different spread. There's a lot more bottom end in this amplifier,
okay.
Which becomes very evident in the dirty channel. It brings a lot of bottom end through, so it tends to thicken up things like a Telecaster guitar.
Yep.
Gives it lots of body, lots of bottom end.
Okay. Once again, if I look over to this amp, and if we're looking at the output stage of this amp, we have an output volume, and then we have a little volume right beside it, and it's a solo volume. So this features on quite a few of the Boogie amps. If you're up on stage and you've set your volume for a guitar solo, and you're up the front, just about to get right into it, and you go to press the solo button and you're not loud enough. You've got that little bit of extra kick in that actual solo button. So if you switch channels over and your volume on that channel's not loud enough, you can set the solo button just a little bit louder, so without having to run back to your amp to get the right solo sound and volume. Okay, moving on. Once again, this amp, looking down at it here, we seem like in the second channel, we've got a clean channel up the top, right across the top. And when we're in the clean channel, we seem to have two modes for the clean channel. We have a drive and a clean mode.
That's correct.
So obviously, Chris, are you plugged into this at the moment? Yeah, let's. Okay, so here we are in the clean mode, quickly. Now I've switched over to the drive mode, but it's got a little bit of clean in there. And moving right along, I'm going to press the drive button now, okay? This is in the clean mode, here we go, cool. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but look, it's not breaking up as much as the Express is. It's got this real honky, middly type tone, which, hey, for the way he's playing, it sounds fantastic. All right, guys, I'm going to let you... This feature in the front, I suppose, just give us that sound for a sec. Okay, now I'm quickly switching it down to 5 watts. How cool is that? So when the neighbour complains, say, hey man, I've switched it down as far as it'll go. That's 5 watts. Come on over, have a look. There you go. We're going to switch it back over. Okay. Have we left anything out?
No, I think we've got it covered, mate.
Hardwired bypass on the effects loop.
Okay, yes, we do have a high, what is it?
Hardwired bypass.
Hardwired bypass for the effects loop on the back. And you also have your reverb controls on the back. And let me have a look. The effects loop as well. And you have 2 separate reverb controls for channel 1 and channel 2, which is fantastic as well. Give it up for us. It's Chris.